Benjamin Franklin once said, only two things are certain: death and taxes. Death is something that nobody really wants to talk about. But since death is inevitable, we must accept it. And since death is certain, succession planning becomes inevitable. Hello friends, I am Utkarsh Singhal and today we'll be discussing on the topic succession planning. Life is certain in its own uncertainties. People build families, empires, accumulate wealth, assets, goodwill, all during their lifetime. And they wish to transfer all of these to their children out of natural love and affection, with the idea that their legacy should live on. But as simple as it is to speak, change is really difficult, and so are the emotions. The process of transition can get really ugly if not properly planned for. Unnecessary litigation over assets, family disputes among ones who were really close has happened both in real life. All of this drama can be avoided with one single concept known as succession planning. However, there are certain myths attached to this concept. Let us discuss only two of those. The first one, the primary one, is more in the nature of a mental block. It says succession planning is only for the rich and wealthy. Succession planning is only for the rich and wealthy. Succession planning हमारे लिए नहीं है भैया, रोज का खर्चा चल जाए उतनी बड़ी बात है. Succession planning हमारे लिए नहीं है. Okay, let's talk about that. What actually is the line of demarcation? You make X amount of rupees a year and you get to be eligible to make a succession plan. If you do not, then you fall on the other side. You do not make a succession plan. Truly, there is no such line of demarcation. Succession plan is applicable to anyone and everyone. It is as applicable to everyone as it is to the rich. Succession plan सबके लिए है. The second myth is actually an important and an interesting one. It goes on like this: succession planning is not applicable to me because I have a single asset, a single business, or a single hair. Succession planning मेरे लिए नहीं है. Succession planning मेरे लिए नहीं है. हम तो जो करें सब इन्हीं का है, सब इन्हीं के लिए तो है. हमें succession planning की जरूरत नहीं है. जो है सब इसका है, सब इसी के लिए तो कर रहे हैं. Let us talk about it and let us understand that the second myth is again absolutely not true. Succession planning is not only limited to the idea of transfer of cloth from one almirah to the another, or it is not as simple as transferring the asset from one person to another. It expands its scope to various taxation and legal aspects as well. And if all of these are not properly planned for, the process of transition can get a really ugly one. Succession planning has gained tremendous importance in the minds of people during the times of COVID and in the recent past. Succession planning, however, has been practiced through a basic instrument known as will. Will is the basic instrument that has been used and recognized to practice succession planning through various across generations. So now let us understand what actually is a will. Will is a document that expresses the desire of the owner regarding the distribution of his estate. Will is also an important document that comes into effect after the demise of the testator. It is an important document that comes into effect after the demise of the testator, and it can neither be amended nor changed after the demise. But will requires careful planning and attention while its preparation. I have identified 10 basic points which are required to be kept in mind while framing a will. Let us discuss each of them one by one. First one, will should be in writing and it should be registered. Second one, will should be complete in all respects and Micro details about distribution of assets is best avoided. Third, all the assets should be listed at one place with their identification and location. Third is very important, and it goes all assets should be listed at one place with their identification and location. Fourth one, the title of the assets should be clear. The title of the assets should be clear. Fifth one, each asset should be in joint ownership. Each asset should be in joint ownership on either or survivor basis. And wherever possible, nomination should also be registered. Sixth point, wherever nomination is being registered, it is necessary and preferably imperative that the identification of the nominee should also be given. The identification of the nominee should also be given wherever nomination is being registered or being mentioned. Seventh, will has many forms and it is not legally required to be registered. But it is preferable to get it registered so that the recognition of will becomes easier for the custodian of the assets. Eighth, will should be witnessed by at least two witnesses who are at least 10 years younger to the executant. This is in nature of the law of consonance of death. This is in consonance with the nature of law of death. Ninth, will should preferably be witnessed by a lawyer and a doctor. Will should preferably be witnessed by a lawyer and a doctor. The lawyer would imply free will and that the will is not made under any coercion. The doctor would imply the aspect of sound mind. And the last one, the 10th one, that a mirror will should also be simultaneously created. So all these 10 points are the very basic points that need to be kept in mind while preparing a will. However, it is very necessary to understand that succession plan is very wide and is not a single event. Neither it is a one-time activity. It is a continuous process and it should be revisited at periodical intervals to incorporate the structural and other changes. I came across a very good line. It goes on like this: heredity is automatic, but succession planning is not. Succession planning requires a lot of knowledge and effort, and it consumes a lot of time as well. But it has proved to be useful. Succession plan has many forms. What we touched upon today was the aspect of succession planning in the case of death. However, succession planning has many forms such as family business succession planning, corporate business succession plan, transition of management and ownership, steadiness of document, taxation and other related legal issues. All these topics will be discussed in the coming videos. But the particular object of creating this video was to give a food for thought, an idea, a talk about succession planning, so that at least we can begin succession planning. We can begin to think about the idea of succession planning. So I hope you really like this video, and we hope to continue making more such videos on succession planning and other related aspects. Thank you. Hope you enjoy the same.